Hello and a warm welcome to all our viewers in Nigeria and around the world to Global TV AM News in Nigeria's capital, Abuja. I am Anthony Momodu. President Bola Tinubu will be launching the Renewed Hope Police Town Hall meeting on Monday in Lagos in a bid towards strengthening community policing and for Nigerians to key into the Renewed Hope Police agenda of his administration. Announcing these on Thursday in Abuja, Minister of State Police Affairs Iman Suleiman Ibrahim stated that she would be engaging stakeholders on Monday in Lagos. She added that the town hall meeting would be held not only in Lagos but across the country to afford Nigerians the opportunity to air their views on issues surrounding the security of lives and property in accordance with global best practices. President Bola Tinubu on Saturday commiserated with the custodian of the two holy mosques, King Salman of Saudi Arabia and the Royal House of Saudi, on the passing of Prince Talal bin Abdulaziz bin Bandar Al Saud, who died in jet crash Thursday. The Saudi Royal Court announced that Prince Talal bin Abdulaziz died when the Saudi Arabian Air Force's F-15SA fighter plane crashed in Dhahran on December 7th. However, it did not disclose the injuries that led to the prince's death. Talal, 62, who was on a training mission, died alongside one other pilot. The last rituals for Talal will be carried out at the Imam Turki bin Abdullah Mosque in Riyadh, said the monarchy. The Special Advisor to President Bola Tinubu on Health Matters, Dr. Salman Anas Ibrahim, said the poor attention to primary health care in Nigeria adds to the burden of morbidity and mortality, especially due to pregnancy-related conditions. Anas Ibrahim also said the challenges to reducing maternal and child death remain the problem of poorly functional PHC system, with issues of low healthcare coverage for life-saving interventions, ill-equipped and weak service delivery systems, and low coverage with community and household-level interventions, amongst others. She said this on Friday at the 7th Annual Conference of the Association of Nigerian Health Journalists in collaboration with the World Health Organization in Nasarawa State. According to her, the PHC is the fulcrum for a resilient health system and should be structured to be able to deliver services that will support the attainment of UHC and guarantee health security. The Nigerian Senate's Committee on Labor and Productivity, led by Senator Dickett Plank, has taken steps on to augment the 2024 budget of the Labor Ministry, aligning it with the ministry's proposed allocation of 13 billion naira. This action was prompted by a motion raised by Senator Tahir Monguno during the committee's meeting with the Minister of Labor and Employment, Simon Lalong, the Minister of State, Honorable Nkiruka Onyujiocha, and other ministry members at the National Assembly Complex in Abuja. Sandra Akpa has the details.
Senator Monguno emphasized the committee's authority in appropriation, asserting that they possess the power to adjust the budget as necessary.
This budget as presented by the executive is not sacrosanct. It's subject to tinkering by the legislature. So as such, we have all the powers of appropriation. This is very clear and unequivocal in the Constitution. The power of appropriation lies with the National Assembly. So if in our wisdom and in the wisdom of our appropriation committee and the leadership that the allocation that is made given to the Ministry of Labor and Productivity is grossly inadequate, we have all the powers to tinker it and increase it in tandem with the Renewed Hope agenda of Mr. President.
This committee, that what has been submitted, what has been estimated, or the envelope given to Ministry of Labor and Productivity should be increased? Yes. Is it all your opinion? Yes.
Expressing gratitude, the ministers highlighted the challenge of inadequate funding in the Labour Ministry. Minister Simon Lalong pointed out that insufficient funding for labor issues contributes to civil unrest in some African countries.
There was every strike everywhere. There were reasons for some of this strike. If the ministry is well funded, there will be no strike in Nigeria. No strike in Nigeria. There will be no strike in Nigeria. You can see most of the African countries now, they are collapsing and people are now changing government because the workers are not adequately kept.
Sandra Akpa reporting for Global TV News.
The leadership of Labour Party has confirmed that they are part of the new coalition of concerned political parties that was launched this week. A group of 7 opposition political parties on Wednesday formed a new coalition in a bid to strengthen democracy in Nigeria. The movement, tagged the Coalition of Concerned Political Parties, was formed in Abuja at a meeting attended by leaders of their political parties at the National Secretariat of the Social Democratic Party. However, the name of Labour Party, another major opposition party, was conspicuously missing in the list of members. The Lagos State Primary Healthcare Board has inaugurated a subcommittee to assist in gathering accurate data on maternal, perinatal, and child death in communities. This is aimed to assist the government in identifying and addressing the problem and probable causes, modifiable factors, and profile sustainable solutions to reducing the incidences of maternal and child death. The Permanent Secretary, Lagos State Primary Healthcare Board, Ibrahim Mustafa, made this known in a statement signed by the Assistant Director of Public Affairs Department of the Board, Adetayo Akintoye Asagba, on Saturday in Lagos. Mustafa said the State Subcommittee for the Community-Based Maternal and Perinatal and Child Death Surveillance and Response was in partnership with the United Nations Population Fund and Project. Gender-based violence against women and children has become increasingly common and at its highest level. As one of the most prevalent and pervasive human rights violations, gender-based violence encompasses physical, sexual, and psychological harm or suffering and can often have a long life impact on survivors. FCTA Mandate Secretary, Women Affairs, Adebayo Laniyi, speaks to Global Television.
In the context of terrorism, sexual and gender-based violence, SGBV is frequently used as a tactic by terrorist groups to target women and girls, including through rape, sexual slavery, and forced marriages as a means to maintain their stronghold on power. Apparently, blind and deaf women are most victimized person when it comes to violence against women due to their limiting inabilities.
But more importantly, something that uniquely has never featured on the national dashboard, a specific spotlight on disability-based violence for women within this reference. The most raped demographic of women in the world are deaf and dumb women because they cannot call out, they can't make the noise. But please, everyone, understand when you see anyone doing this, they are crying out for help.
Lani urged every citizen to take actions so as to bring the perpetrators to book, further stating that they are all activists.
Everyone is an activist, an actor against gender-based violence where they are. The first principal thing to do to invest against GBV is to report it.
Perpetrators are people who are most likely sick and needs treatment. Objectively speaking, Lani further stated that most of the perpetrators are depressed and are acting based on traumatic experiences, thereby replicating it in the lives of their victims.
Perpetrators are sick people. When I say this, I don't mean it as an insult, saying, oh, you're sick, like I'm using an abusive term of reference. Mentally, something has happened. They are ill.
So on a level, they need help.
They need real help. They need to be treated. It's a disease.
Training the victims and girl child with skills with aims to make them see their worth rather than an instrument for violation.
Every woman you empower or you endow with a social opportunity that you give, and like for me, the emphasis of the mandate in the FCT for women is not about palliatives and poverty alleviation. It's about opportunity and wealth creation.
Sharon Ajay reporting for Global TV News.
The Concerned Northern Forum, formed by lawyers, has vowed to institute legal action against the federal government, demanding the payment of adequate compensation for the victims of Tudunbiri bombed by the military airstrikes in Kaduna State. Over 120 villagers were killed while celebrating Maulud last Sunday night. Speaking on behalf of the Lawyers Forum, Barrister Nafiu Abubakar explained that the forum would ensure that the families that suffered irreplaceable loss as a result of this unfortunate incident get justice. Nafiu, who spoke while addressing newsmen in Kaduna on Saturday, urged the federal government to take immediate and decisive action to ensure a thorough and independent investigation into the matter. It is imperative that those responsible are held accountable for their actions and measures are put in place to prevent any reoccurrence of such incidents in the future, the forum said. The Director General of the Department of State Services, Yusuf Bichi, on Saturday said the service will soon commence the production of unmanned aerial vehicles, AK-47s, and other weapons that would be used by the service. Bichi said this is to reduce the heavy reliance on foreign countries for weapons and the huge resources for the procurement of such weapons. Bichi spoke at the graduation of the Executive Intelligence Management Course 16 participants in Abuja on Saturday. He noted that when the plans materialize, the service will deploy the weapons across the country. Deborah Palm of the Nigerian Security and Civil Defense Corps came first in the female category, and Stephen Joshua of the Federal Fire Service came first in the male category in the 2023 Armed Forces and Other Security Agencies Marathon Championship in Abuja. The Minister of Defense, who was represented by the Permanent Secretary, Ministry of Defense, Ibrahim Kana, says the competition is to provide the platform for the armed forces and other security agencies to interact with one another towards sustaining the good working relationship built and enjoyed over the years. Kikelomo Okere has the rest of the story.
The half marathon was spiced up with series of side attractions with the heads of Nigerian armed forces and security agencies all present.
It is at the top with difficult exercises on the high horse.
250 personnel of the Nigerian military, security and intelligence agencies participated in the 25.1 kilometer for both male and female marathon and 5 kilometer for veterans, which kickstart at 6 a.m. from Kubwa Expressway to Aguin Rose Cantonment, Asokoro. The Minister of Defense, who was represented by the Permanent Secretary, says the marathon is aimed at forging cooperation among the security agencies for enhanced understanding and economy of common effort towards tackling the multi-dimensional internet security challenges in the country.
Certainly, we all know that the primary function of the Nigerian Ministry of Defense is to ensure the state of readiness of the Nigerian Armed Forces and for any intervention, whether in land, air or sea. And in order to maintain that state of readiness is to ensure that we organize regular sporting events like this. And everyone knows that physical activity such as running, especially marathon, is the best form of physical maintaining and sustaining physical fitness. Therefore, the Ministry of Defense actually fully supports the Defense Headquarters in organizing this. And
in his remark, the Chief of Defense Staff says the Defense Headquarters will continue to project the excellent relationship with other security agencies so as to seek areas for more collaboration and enhancing synergy of efforts, adding that the sport consulting activities is a platform for the participants to continue to build operational capacity that will enhance the peace and security of the nation.
We know that the armed forces, especially and again all the security agencies, sports is vital. Marathon builds up endurance, and we know our job has to do with a lot of endurance. And so this is a way to cap up, and you know this is the end of the year, so that this sounds like a reminder that we need to put in more efforts. And so we want to encourage everyone so that we have more participants in future to participate in this, so that we can have a more robust competition event for everyone to take part and then to benefit for the benefit of the country.
This is the fourth time Deborah Palm will emerge winner since the inception of the championship.
This position under the female category, I'm feeling happy, excited, because I'm the champion of this marathon this morning. Since they started the defense marathon, I'm the one that's been winning it. So I still thank God. I'm very happy that I still maintain my position. And I trade is behind it, is training, and if you are disciplined with the program, if you are faithful, if you keep yourself in one place and maintain what they ask you to do, you can able to perform very well.
But I still put up my best and tell myself I can still come and win.
The high point of the event was the presentation of cash prize of 1 million naira and brand new cars for the winner of both male and female category.
The category goes to
the fourth edition of the Chief of Defense Staff, Armed Forces and Security Agencies Half Marathon Championship is part of the CDS vision to build inter-agency cooperation among the military and security agencies in the country. From Agui Rosi Cantonment in Abuja, Kike Lomo Okeri, Global Television News.
You're watching Global AM News, coming to you live from Nigeria's capital, Abuja. We're on StarTimes, channel 276. Kindly follow us across social media platforms using the Global TV NG and other handles now showing on your screen. When AM News returns, counterfeit notes in circulation as Naira scarcity persists, says CBN. The news continues shortly with details of these and other stories right after this break. Stay with us. Back from the break. The program officer of the Gombe State Agency for the Control of AIDS, SACA, Hassan Mohammed, has said that the number of children infected with the human immune deficiency virus has been on the increase, adding that gender-based violence plays a pivotal role in its spread. Mohammed disclosed this in an interview with journalists on the commemoration of the 2023 16 Days of Activism organized by the Center for Integrated Health Programs on Saturday. According to him, the cases of rape of children and homosexuality among adolescents increased the prevalence of HIV infections, adding that the state governor had in recent times suspended some big names from offices as a result of sexual harassment of small children in the society. Mohammed further said in SACA, they are one of the drivers towards HIV in Gombe State, as small children and even mad people are being raped, transferring these kinds of infections to the society. So it's a problem within the society these days. French Energy Minister Agnes Pannier-Runacher said Saturday she was stunned at the oil cartel OPEC urged its members to thwart any deal targeting fossil fuels at the COP28 conference. The minister said she was counting on the presidency of the COP not to be influenced by these declarations and to reach an agreement which affirms a clear objective of phasing out fossil fuel, stating that I am stunned by these statements from OPEC and I am angry, she said, from the climate conference in Dubai, adding that OPEC's position endangers the most vulnerable countries and the poorest populations who are the first victims of this situation. OPEC Secretary General Haitham Al-Ghais sent a letter to the group of 13 members and 10 Russian-led allies this week after negotiations at talks in Dubai released a draft deal that included calls for a phase-out of fossil fuels. Gates urged the group to proactively reject any text or formula that targets energy like fossil fuel rather than emissions. The letter has drawn anger from activists and the High Ambition Coalition, a broad group of nations ranging from Barbados to France, Kenya, and Pacific Island states. The United States has vetoed a United Nations Security Council resolution demanding an immediate humanitarian ceasefire in the war between Israel and Palestinian group Hamas in Gaza. The U.S. blocked the resolution Friday, backed by almost all other Security Council members and dozens of other nations demanding an immediate humanitarian ceasefire in Gaza. The Associated Press reported 13 of the 15 Security Council members voted in favor of the draft resolution put forward by the United Arab Emirates, while the United Kingdom abstained. The vote came after United Nations Secretary General Antonio Guterres made a rare move on Wednesday to formally warn the 15-member council of a global threat from the 2-month-long war. The U.S. and Israel opposed the ceasefire because they believe it would only benefit Hamas. Washington instead supports pauses in fighting to protect civilians and allow the release of hostages taken by Hamas in a deadly October 7 attack on Israel. In business, the Central Bank of Nigeria on Friday said its attention had been drawn to the circulation of counterfeit banknotes. The banking regulator noted that the counterfeit notes were common with higher denominations by some individuals for transactions in food markets and other commercial centers across major cities in the country. In a statement signed by the Acting Director, Corporate Communications, CBN, CD Hakana, on Friday, this development came as bank depositors continued to complain of cash shortage, both from automated teller machines and over the counter in the banks. And that's how we call it a wrap on the Global TV AM News. I am Anthony Momodu saying thank you for watching. Good morning.